Hello, this is the working group comms meeting for the environmental sustainability tag. Today is the 28th of August. This is a CNCF meeting and it is being recorded, so we'll follow the CNCF guidelines, which is just be nice to each other and let's just make sure that we're thinking about what we're saying. I'll try and share my screen for the notes. Yep. And I also have sent those in the chat. I'll just send them again as well. If people can add themselves as attendees, that would be great. I know it's been a while since we had a meeting, so I think there are a couple of things. Firstly, if there's anybody new that wants to say hello, feel free to do that now. Okay. If not, then there are a couple of current issues, but I've gone through them and most of these things will come up today anyway. I think there are a lot of things on the backlog. For various reasons, I haven't been able to do much for the tag recently, which is why we need the co-chair. Hopefully we can get around to those coming up. I've added also just a quick note on if anybody has any specific project help that's needed from the comms group. Sustainability Week, I believe people are kind of chugging along with, and we've been helping out with posts about that. I believe everything is up to date. Valeria, I don't know if you had anything about the user stories.
No, not any updates recently. We had kind of the first meeting. I don't remember when it was. It was at the start of July with Leo and Christina and Wilco, and we kind of wrote an update here. Let me write the link here. I copied and pasted the comment that Leo wrote, but I think that we will have some other meetings after these summer holidays. So yes, the most recent update is all that's written in the comment. But basically, to update everyone, we kind of decided or discussed on how organize this project. And one of the ideas one of the main ideas was to not have a single lead, but many leads that are responsible for one user story or have contacts, and we can develop a user story around it. Yes, this is I think the very starting point, and yeah, I hope September will be a good month to start this project. Everyone was on holidays, so
Yep.
we will see how things go on.
Okay, sounds good. And I think that's a good segue actually into my first point. A couple of weeks ago, and Christina and I kind of discussed it 2 weeks ago in our previous comms meeting now, but we were discussing maybe a rebrand from working group comms to working group sustainability advocacy. I think it's basically doing the same stuff. It would just be a cosmetic name change, but maybe it would give people more of a kind of understanding of what we're doing. I think the user stories is a good example of that. It's very much that kind of, we are comms and we are communicating, but we're less a marketing team and more meant to be just helping to make sure that sustainability in tech is talked about, and social media posts and blogs, etc. They kind of fit into that a little better. If anybody has any thoughts on that, I'd like to start up I personally think that would be a really good thing to do, and I'd like to start an issue to track making changes and what would need to be changed and documents that would need to be edited. But
I actually agree on this. Sometimes some previous times people asked, okay, but what this working group does, because for example, for green reviews, they develop things, write code, and work with metrics. And the working group comes is not just social media, but rather we kind of try to share about sustainability various in various ways, and yeah, social media is one of them. But I really like the advocacy, the advocacy term for this working group. So I thumbs up for me.
okay, I've made a note of that. In which case, I think I'm gonna make an issue, just see what would need changing and how much work that is. I think it was originally Nikki's idea, and we can discuss. One of the first steps will be for me to discuss with the rest of the leads now that it's kind of been voiced for the group. But I think that could be a really good change. I also have this swap from Twitter. This is something that Christina and I have already discussed as well. So I just need to follow up with her on, what's changing and if there's anything we need to do. But we've been thinking about stopping using Twitter because, well, I guess X, and maybe moving towards a different platform instead. I can't remember if we discussed which ones, but we're not getting a lot of engagement from Twitter/X now. And I think it's becoming harder and harder to navigate using it with ads and usability issues.
Yeah, I saw a thread about this. I'm not familiar with Twitter or X, just what it is. I don't have an account there, so yeah, if we don't have engagement there, we can just move our energies to another platform.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. In which case, the next biggest thing is following up on the co-chair position. So we have this issue open. I think I have it open up here actually. I don't know if that's showing. Okay. So that's obviously something we've been looking for a while. It's becoming increasingly difficult for me to be here every other week. Sometimes I have time off and I am currently changing jobs, etc. So this is really key. We've had quite a few people reach out actually and mention that they would be interested, Valeria included. I will suggest that my personal next steps then would be to work with the other leads, and I've added that here, to initiate the kind of 2-week voting situation for co-chair. Then we can wrap that up and have somebody else that can help whenever we finish. I haven't actually done that myself, so I'll have to check in with the other leads about how that works and what needs to happen. That's more just an informative thing. Oh, all in caps. Okay, that's fine. And then the very last thing that I've added is just the comms roles. So I've kind of Valerie, you remember when we went through everything quite a while ago now?
Yep.
Myself, Leo, and Christina edited that document and kind of added some notes and have made another draft of it that's a little less just our thoughts and a little more actual sentences about roles. The next step then, apart from the potential role for helping new people in the joining the community, which maybe we can evaluate if we need, if we're kind of moving towards advocacy. And I've had a couple of discussions with Leo about maybe that being more of a role that's just for the whole tag as opposed to specifically this working group. But beyond that role, I think we can get it into a kind of final draft version that people can actually look at and comment on, and then we can put it into our documentation sections of the website, etc. I think it should help to kind of give us some more clear goals. The only thing is, with the name change in mind, I might just, thinking about that name change, reread the document and make sure that it kind of all lines up and there's a good story being told there by what we're trying to achieve. Okay, I don't know if I have it open, the actual roles document. Let me see.
I followed that link. I don't know if it's that one.
Yeah, so the top section of this document is kind of the official, the kind of sentences we're thinking about, and then the underneath is all of our under this line is all the thoughts that we had. I think this contributor experience lead is the only one that it's not so sure about how that fits in. I think I still want to reread them in light of the kind of name change and just make sure everything makes sense. I think, blog and social media, that makes sense. And like making sure that the website makes sense from a perspective of ensuring the kind of advocacy, etc. I think we'll also have some projects under the advocacy working group, like your user stories, etc., that kind of, it gives a little more purpose to the working group. I feel like I know what we do a little better with this, the roles and the name change. So we might be able to kind of try and increase the amount of people that are in the working group and doing work and helping out.
I think it's good.
Okay, good stuff. Well, I'm not sure that there is a whole lot more unless anyone else has anything to talk about, because obviously coming back from the summer break, everything's been a bit on hold and it's just getting back started. I think there's maybe some stuff for North American KubeCon that's coming up in November, but we have the slides from the previous one that we're going to use for that. I'll make a note of that down here. I think also for our next meeting, or whenever the new co-chair is, so maybe in a month or so, it'd be good to start actually thinking about the specific roles and who's doing what and how we can kind of check in on that, etc. So that would be something good. Make sure that we're not missing anything. I think I've also suggested making a timeline of kind of events and stuff to help the events lead, but also ourselves to give us more of like, hey, in this meeting, we should be thinking about KubeCon, etc. I think that would be great. Okay, is there anything else from anyone else? Otherwise, I guess we'll wrap up a little early and we'll have 10 minutes back instead.
I don't think so. For me, I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. I'll stop the recording.